Well, hello there, my friends. Hope this day, am I going to start already not being able to talk? That's not good if you're going to do a podcast. You got to be able to speak. I hope this day finds you safe, healthy, happy, and thriving in whatever it is you're doing, wherever it is that you're doing it. Just hope it's a great day. Hope you're enjoying your life. Hope you're filling every single moment you can with the joy that emanates from right in here, from within out into everything you do, into every relationship and every interaction you have with everyone in the world. Hope it just turns out that way for you in every possible instant. So, I want to start off today with something not particularly upbeat. Little CBD infused coffee, if you don't mind. Every cup has 5 grams of broad spectrum CBD, so there's no THC in here whatsoever. And it is really good. I mix it in with regular coffee. It's really good. Anyway, there was an announcement yesterday or the day before that the FDA, well, it's got to be in conjunction with other things besides the FDA. But bottom line is, they are approving the use of pharmaceuticals like Ozempic and other weight loss drugs for children under 12 years old. When I heard this, I was incredulous. There's no long-term studies. No one has any flippant idea what those drugs will do to the systems of children, because we really don't have any idea what they're doing to the systems of adults. But the fact that we have now approved them for use in children under 12 years old speaks volumes to me about who's in control of what in this country. Now, I don't want to go off on a political rant here, because this is New Thought Media Network is about just living a more spiritual life, about looking at life from a positive perspective. But I think we have to stop and say, wow, reality doesn't even seem real sometimes. How in God's name can we be approving these drugs for children without any knowledge whatsoever of what they're going to do to their bodies, when we know without a fact, without a question, without a doubt whatsoever, that the reason we might even consider weight loss drugs for children is because we're feeding them crap that makes them fat, that makes them overweight, because we're giving them soda pop. We're giving them foods that are filled with high fructose corn syrup and other deviously and deceptively named corn syrup products that do nothing but create insulin resistance, make people fat, and lead us down the path of type 2 diabetes and the overwhelming epidemic of pancreatic cancer. We know, there's no question about this. The additives in food, the sugars in food, the amazing amount of indigestible, unrecognizable, by the body unrecognizable foods or substances in our food-like substances, if you will. That's what's making all of us overweight. Our children are consuming foods filled with microplastics that are endocrine disruptors. It's why we have, and science can prove this, I'm not making this crap up, it's why we have little girls approaching puberty at 10 years old and 11 years old, when, I'm 70 years old. I'm a baby boomer. My generation, girls didn't even, a prepubescent girl might be in her mid-teens, early teens, 13, 14, which is really mid-teens if you count 11 and 12 as tweens, whatever that is. It's all part of the same decade, right? We are consuming things that are damaging our bodies. We are putting things into our bodies that our bodies say, what is that? That's not food. And we actually literally create an inflammatory response with the additives that are in our food, because the body goes into defense mode because there's a foreign object arriving in our system. And what is that foreign object? Oh, dinner. How screwed up is that? So now we're going, because we're growing children who are overweight at very young ages. Something that just, I mean, they didn't. When I was in grammar school, a fat kid was an oddity. And more often than, I don't mean oddity as in they were odd. I mean that the fact that someone was fat was odd. But more often than not, there was some kind of a medical condition involved. The kid had a thyroid issue or had something going on that created that overweight presence. Or once in a while, you'd have a kid whose mother fed them nothing but juices and sodas and candy and crap. I grew up in a well-to-do area where it was very common for a lot of the kids. The biggest treat for them was to be invited to my house to dinner because my mother cooked every single night. Their mothers never cooked. A lot of kids who grew up with TV dinners, but even back then, a Swanson TV dinner was healthier than damn near anything you're going to buy as a prepackaged dinner product in the frozen food section of the grocery store now. Fewer additives, much less crap, much less inflammatory inducing substances. We got somebody running for president, and again, this is not political. Marianne Williamson. I don't know if you know Marianne, if you're familiar with her. I'm thinking if you're someone who watches the New Thought Media Network, you're familiar with Marianne. I've met Marianne twice. I've gotten to spend a couple of hours with Marianne, just one-on-one, just me and her. And it was in the car, driving her to and from engagements at Mile High Church in Colorado. And Marianne is now stepping into the 2024 presidential race. And she's talking about how we are being controlled by big pharmaceutical companies, big oil, big insurance, big agriculture, big food product companies, food producers, the gun lobby, insurance companies, and banks. We are being controlled by corporate entities where the sole motivating factor, is profit at all costs. And that profit at all costs we're the costs. And the profit at all costs is to reimburse stockholders. It is not in any way, shape, or form to make sure the products are better, healthier, are providing for the good of humanity and for the longevity and prosperity of the human being. They're about profits and profits only. And that is why we enter then into the medical system, and we all know that we don't have a healthcare system per se. We have a disease management system. Allopathic medicine is great for surgery, for broken bones, for dentistry, for the things where you have to have your body put back together. But when it comes to diseases, allopathic medicine just does control. It doesn't have answers. It doesn't go towards the source or the cure. And it's all from our food supply, what we're putting into our bodies. I've ranted and raved for years and years and years in my work. I mean, I've been coaching people through nutritional cleansing and weight loss protocols for over a dozen years. And I have been telling people forever and ever and ever, the number one cause of obesity in this country is soda pop. And I don't care if it's regular soda pop or diet soda pop, it's all contributing to the epidemic of obesity in this country, just from different. They all get to the same path to the same place from different pathways. And a lot of it has to do with artificial sweeteners and with the devil itself, high fructose corn syrup. Corn is the numbers are staggering. Corn is the base of like 70% of our food supply, and the rest is pretty much wheat. I mean, it's just, and both of those are insanely inflammatory. Anyway, that's a whole nother workshop, kids. I want to make the point If you're a parent, feed your children healthy foods. Don't feed them Ozempic. If you're an adult, if you're not a parent, feed yourself healthy foods. If you know, I'll give you an experiment here. This was an unwitting experiment that I just performed on myself in the last 24 hours. I've been cutting way back on the sugar. I'm a sugarholic. I always had a sweet tooth my whole life. I quit drinking in 1988. I've been sober for 35 years as of July 5th, earlier this month. But when I quit drinking, sugar became its own food group. I mean, I just have this insane sweet tooth. Well, as you get older, your body starts to reject that. I started to dance around the pre-diabetes area, and my blood sugars were high. My A1C, that was high. But I worked on that. I got that all down by myself. I increased my exercise level, and I finally, took me a long time. I finally got down to cutting back on the sugar. And the first thing that happened was a belly that I had sticking out over my belt for years. It wasn't big, but it was embarrassing to me in the mirror. Let's put it that way. I don't know if anybody else even flipping noticed it. But the first thing that happened when I quit the sugar was that bloat went down dramatically. And I think part of that bloat was also some visceral fat, which is the fat around your internal organs that you don't see. It's in there. And I think I lost quite a bit of that. Yesterday, two of my sisters visited us here in Mocksville, North Carolina. One of them came up from Charlotte, where she lives, and the other one was down from Long Island, where she lives. And they came over, and it was just going to be lunch because they both headed back to their respective homes. And they brought a bunch of dessert stuff, delicious, sweet stuff. And my inner sugarholic went nuts. And I had way more stuff than I should have had. Even after they left, I went and had some ice cream and tricked myself into believing that it was healthy because I used some of I covered up a bunch of blueberries from our blueberry patch in the back of the house. A fistful of blueberries and 2 scoops of ice cream. Not exactly health food, but I convinced myself it was good for me. So I had that. Well, what happened was today, without question or doubt, the bloat is back. I'm uncomfortable in my middle. I can feel like almost like my belly is protruding. I can almost feel that. And it looks like it as well. But in addition, last night I went to bed, and this happens to me periodically. I feel like itchy, you know? Last night I itched from head to toe. My eyelids itched, my nose itched, my lips itched. I mean, it was crazy. And I was scratching and I couldn't, it wasn't like scratching your skin off like I had a rash or something. I was just itchy, scratching, rubbing. And I had trouble getting to sleep. I woke up a couple of times, had trouble getting back to sleep because I was itchy all night, basically. In the middle of the night, I got up to go to the bathroom and I couldn't stand it, the itching. And I grabbed my phone as I went to the bathroom so I wouldn't disturb Lisa. And I went into the bathroom and I Googled, why would you itch head to toe? Well, there's a lot of reasons you would itch, but one of the reasons you would itch would be too much sugar. Bingo. Great lesson for me because I've been trying so hard for so long to cut back on the sugar. Now I have a real voice telling me, this is not just you doing more aerobic exercise to get your blood sugar down to acceptable levels, to get below a pre-diabetic level in your A1C, but this is also something that makes you uncomfortable, kills your sleep. There's nothing more important than sleep when you get to be a senior citizen. You need your sleep. Sleep is important for so many different things that it does for your body, for rejuvenation, for your muscles, your brain, everything depends on a good night's sleep to rejuvenate and to refurbish, if you will, what you need to refurbish in your body. So again, the lesson, it's what I do or have done for a living for a very long time. And even I succumb to eating those things that are not good for me, that are not healthy for me, that are not working and life supporting for my body. But I made conscious choices to eat this crap, but for most of us, we're not making conscious choices to eat garbage. We're making conscious choices to eat things that we like and that we enjoy, and we don't bother reading the ingredients and realizing that we are putting, again, food-like substances in our body, that we are filling ourselves full of high fructose corn syrups and other corn-based sweeteners that are ubiquitous and they're hidden. We are filling ourselves full of soda pop and juices that are just flat out not good for us. I mean, if you want to drink juice, that's great. Drink juice, but read the juice, read the ingredients. Read 100% juice. And the other one, one of my favorites is 100% juice from concentrate. Well, you know what? There's a concentration of sugar that goes on there as well. So pure, unadulterated, 100% pure juice, go for it. Put the soda pop down. I don't care what kind of soda pop you drink. There are no healthy soda pops. I drink carbonated water. That's about as close as you're going to get to a healthy soda pop is carbonated water. I really love it. I drink it all the time. I drink, well, not all the time. I have one a night with my dinner. Rare for me to have two a day, but one a day pretty much almost every day. So yeah, so there's some thoughts for you there. Something wrong, something very, very, very wrong with providing our children with weight loss drugs rather than let's work on what they're putting in their system that makes them overweight. So the next thing I had was, this morning at the end of my meditation, I read from this book here, The Science Mind 365, and I read from another book called The Daily Stoic, and they're just daily guides, if you will, little words of wisdom, things to brighten your day or direct your day or wherever you want to do it. And you can see that I've had this book for a long time. There's pages there's photocopies sticking out of it. There's a bazillion sticky notes from different trips through here. One year you put the sticky note in the top, next year it's in the side, different colors, different little notes on them. And I even have a note on the page in here. There is no more God in one than in another. That's just a handwritten note that I had in here. But here's this one for today, which is July 20th, 2023. Well, July 20th end of the year. I honor the presence of God is what it's called. And these are by the way, these are all written by Ernest Holmes. And I'm just going to read you the first half of this. If I honor myself alone, not realizing that I am one with the divine presence, then I shall quickly exhaust the small portion of good that I, as a human being, can at any one moment contain. But if I honor the presence of God in me, of God around and through me, of God in and through everything, that I am indeed honoring the presence of God. For one spirit is over all, in all, and through all, and one presence is all. There can be no separation from this presence, no apartness, no division. It is one, complete and total, equally distributed and everywhere available. To feel this presence in things, in people, and in human events, and to sense that it is all inclusive, is to honor God and to provide in one's own self a place where the divine can go forth anew into creation. This is really, really, really big. It's very, very typical chewy Ernest Holmesian, but I want to read the last sentence again. To feel this presence in things, in people, and in human events, and to sense that it is all inclusive, is to honor God and to provide in one's own self a place where the divine can go forth anew into creation. Now, what I get out of that is that by practicing the presence, and I think which is probably the entire meaning of Joel Goldsmith's classic book, Practicing the Presence, which I dug out this afternoon. There's another one full of sticky notes. I'm big on the sticky notes and highlighter in the book. but I'm going to reread the Practicing the Presence because I believe that there's something in there around the idea of that what I talk about all the time is never lose sight of God, which is not easy, man. It's not easy. There's nothing in this world in the daily day-to-day activities of the world, of the universe, of the news, of politics that is pointing me into practicing the presence of God within me and all around me and in every event, in every person, in every being. There's nothing in this world that is pointing me in that direction except that presence within. And it's about accepting that presence. It's about recognizing, realizing that presence. You don't have to seek it because it's there. There is no, as Holmes says in that one little piece, there is no leaving that presence. There's no what's, it's funny because it's kind of important the way he put it. This book is so falling apart. It's hard to find, even with the bookmark in there, it's hard to find the page where I was. That's too funny for words. Where the heck did it go? There can be no separation. Okay, there can be, he says, that's exactly what he says. That's so funny. There can be no separation from this presence, no apartness, no division. It is always present. The divine is always present in, through, and as me, you, each and every one of us, the computer that I'm looking into here to do this show. The divine presence is there. There is no separation possible from it. So you don't have to go looking for it. You just have to recognize it. All I have to do is realize that it is there, and it is always there, and it is always conspiring for my good, for my best interest. And if I can do that, then what I have done is finally recognize what manifestation is all about. I have put myself in the position to know that if this divine presence is in, through, and as me, I have set up all that I need to set up so that that presence can go forth and create anew, as Holmes says in there. That I can actually, as it says in the Science of Mind, in the first 4 chapters of Science of Mind, one of those 4, the introductory chapters, one is it's the thing itself, what it does, how it works, and how we use it. And how we use it is by the recognition of it, the acceptance of it, and the use of it from within to manifest what it is we desire to experience in our lives. Doesn't always mean, where's my stuff? It might more importantly mean that I get to manifest the life that I desire, which is truly to be in gratitude, to be appreciative, to be in joy all the time, regardless what else is going on. Because I probably have less control of external events than I actually believe I do, or than I even want to admit. But I have total control over the internal atmosphere if I decide that I am that divine being in expression. So that each and every day, each and every way, I practice the presence of the divine within. I find that to be really, really big for me. I hope there's something in that for you. So I'm enjoying my coffee today, my hemp-infused coffee. It seems like sometimes in the afternoon, it makes me burp just a little bit, and I apologize for that. If you caught me burping, which was possible, I just want to reiterate, I'm going to reread this book, Joel Goldsmith's classic, Practicing the Presence. And, I remember it from, we had to read this in practitioner training. Practitioner 1, we had to read Practicing the Presence back in the day when I became a practitioner, which was 16, 17 years ago. That's all I really got for you today. That's it for me. I want to show you, my hemp infused coffee is from HempWorks. HempWorks, of course, is the sponsor of this show. And let's make sure you can see how to get to HempWorks. HempWorks.com/Ken Ludwig. That'll take you right to my page. Truly the absolute best, highest quality CBD and CBD infused products in the world. This is my CBD that I use every single day, twice a day. Usually I take a huge dropper full before I go to bed. Does wonders for sleep. Actually, a second dropper last night to help me conquer the itching and get back to sleep. And then I use like a half a dropper in the morning just for general purposes because it is such a great tonic for the body. Every single cell of your body has receptors for cannabinoids. And CBD is cannabidiol, one of the 100 plus cannabinoids in the cannabis plant, and your body has receptors to receive it. And what cannabis does, or cannabinoids do, and CBD in particular, is they promote homeostasis, which is balance in your body. And man, has there ever been a time in history where we needed more balance? Never is the answer to that question. Don't ever forget, please, that the New Thought Media Network is a nonprofit organization. We live and breathe on the basis of your donations. Go to newthoughtmedia.org. That's ntmedia.org. Click on donate, and we are immensely grateful for whatever it is that you choose to bestow upon us. If you want to reach me, please send me an email to teamrockitnow@gmail.com. You can find my beloved Lisa and I on our Vibrant Aging branded Facebook page. Of course, Vibrant Aging goes hand in hand with this show, Vibrant Living. You can, I'm on Instagram. There's not much there. I keep swearing I'm getting back on Instagram and then put in some words of wisdom for you. But if you want to look up me on Instagram, it's evolving_hippie, which I hope is what I am, just an evolving old hippie. HempWorks, by the way, it's under the umbrella of a house of brands known as MyDailyChoice.com. Go to there, MyDailyChoice.com/Ken Ludwig, and you'll go right to my page and see an extraordinary array of products for your health, for your home, for literally living a more vibrant life. So one more time, you can find me at teamrocketnow@gmail.com. HempWorks is the sponsor of the show. And let's keep the donation button up there. So as always, I am immensely grateful for the great gift of your time and your attention. I wish you all the love and blessings the universe has to offer. I hope you will join me this week and every week. This week, you already did. Every Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock Mountain time. Until the next week, my friends, namaste.